Today we're going to be setting aside the flashier details, the power, the motor, the battery, and we're going to be talking about something that we think most people don't really consider when they're thinking about an e-bike, and that is weight.
All right, we'll see how this goes. Oh my goodness.
Can we get it up there?
And behind us is every single electric e-bike, and they come in at different weights, all the way down to the XP Lite to the heavy XP Trike. We're gonna weigh each one, weigh their batteries to give you an accurate number of just how heavy some of these electric bikes are.
And we have a scale to do that here. We'll be hanging every single one of these.
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Thanks to Lectric for sponsoring this video. They have a full lineup of electric bikes. They have e-bikes at all different weights. And let me tell you a quick story. The other day, I was selling one of our e-bikes after we were done with our review. A lady rode it, loved it, felt great, but one problem, she couldn't pick it up. She couldn't lift it in her vehicle. That means it's a non-starter.
So weight really matters. It could mean the difference between really enjoying riding your e-bike and leaving it in the garage. So let's talk about what the compromises are when you get a lightweight e-bike. This is the XP Lite 2.0, and this has a 300 watt motor that peaks at 819 watts and a 7.8 amp hour battery. So you are compromising on power and range. And there are some other compromises as well.
So sometimes on lighter weight e-bikes, you'll have a 36 volt system, but Lectric wanted to prioritize this still being plenty powerful for most people, being a 48 volt system. But one of the other common components that you see, obviously smaller frame, yes, lighter weight, but also no suspension fork. That's something you'll see on bikes that prioritize a lighter weight.
You also see more narrow, nimble tires on a lot of lightweight models as well. And on the flip side, that goes all the way up to a 750 watt motor that peaks at 1310 watts.
And of course, massive batteries like we have on the XPeak 2.0.
Yep.
I can't wait to see how much this weighs, but it's a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery, more than double the capacity on the XP Lite. And then you have batteries like this one. This is a 17.5 amp hour battery. This is found on the XPedition 2.0 dual battery long range, but there's not only one of these, there's two of them. Lots of extra weight. The lightest e-bike, I mean, light is in the name. This is the Lectric XP Lite 2.0. And by the way, we have reviews of every single electric e-bike. Very easy for me to lift. And we'll bring it over to our scale here. All right, what do we have for weight? Looks like
44.5 pounds.
Now, we personally view on the channel lightweight e-bikes being 50 pounds without the battery, and this one comes in at less than 50 pounds with the battery. This is the 7.8 amp hour battery, which we'll weigh in a second, but you can get this in a longer range battery if you prefer. Now, one of the extra cool things, yes, this bike is light, but also it folds, which makes it ultra portable. We'll bring the handlebars down, and I will turn the keys so I unlock the battery here, undo the lever, and there we go, exposing Lectric's lightest battery. So this is a 48 volt, 7.8 amp hour battery. And yes, one of the cool things is every single electric e-bike battery fits in our small waterproof and flame resistant battery bag. This one leaves plenty of room inside as well. It's a roll top bag, and you can pick one up at shop.ebikeescape.com. Or if you're planning to buy any electric e-bike, do me one quick favor. Use the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen before you make your purchase. Thank you guys so much for your support. It's what makes videos like this one possible.
All right, let's tear the scale with the battery bag on. And look at that, it weighs almost exactly a pound. There we go.
The battery comes in at just over 5 pounds, which means that this bike without the battery weighs less than 40 pounds. And this one, perhaps different than all of the other models, I can actually lift with one arm, but there are other considerations. So let's weigh the next bike.
And now we're starting to get into some more power and range as well. We have Lectric's Express 750 and the Lectric one. We tried to line these up in order of weight lightest to heaviest, but we had a question mark on these.
So on the Express, you have bigger wheels and tires. You also have a front suspension fork. It's also a bigger frame compared to the one. We have smaller wheels, but it has a pinion gearbox. Not sure how much that weighs.
And I thought the weight of the XPress was going to be less. Ryan thought the one was going to weigh in less.
Let's find out.
All right, let's lift this one up. Definitely a little more weight. Ryan, what do you think this is going to weigh in at?
I don't know, somewhere in the 50 range. What do you think?
Say 56 pounds.
All right, with the battery, it's weighing in at 62 pounds.
All right, we don't have to weigh the battery on its own. Let's just pop it off real quick.
All right, and now we are just shy of 55 pounds. And also, we mentioned this is the 750. It's also offered in a 500 watt motor variation with a smaller 10 amp hour battery.
And both the 500 and 750 come in both the step over frame if you do want the more traditional diamond frame look, or the step through frame. And the advantage to the 750 is you get the bigger battery, the 14 amp hour battery.
I realize that some people don't prefer the look or the size of that electric bike, so it might make sense to step up to the XPress, or maybe the Lectric one. All right, and this has to be my favorite model, at least when I'm riding myself. Belt driven, pinion gearbox, automatic shifting. You just don't see these kind of features in an e-bike at this price. And I'm starting to think that you might have been right, Miles. I'm gonna need a hand.
Okay.
All right, 2-person lift on this one. I think I got the heavy side, Miles.
I planned that. I'm using the handlebar.
This is why you need a lightweight e-bike.
All right, there we go. There.
This bike isn't balanced as well, so we're gonna weigh it without the battery first. All right, so actually, we are right around the same weight of 55 pounds on the Lectric one. It's just that it's not nearly as balanced because you have a lot of weight going on in the bottom and rear of the bike,
bracket
and the battery being behind the C-tube.
Yes.
All right, so 55 pounds without the battery, and this is the same battery as found on the XPress, at least the same size, 14 amp hour. So it's probably gonna weigh about the same. And the weight of the battery is about 7.3 pounds. So you're looking about 62 pounds on the Lectric one with the battery installed.
All right, as we get ready to weigh the XP4, it's good to mention that some companies are achieving even lighter weights using materials like carbon fiber. I recently reviewed the Carbon Fold 1, a folding model that weighs in at 29 pounds without the battery, and the Joy, which is a utility model that weighs in around 50 pounds.
And particularly the Joy, way less than other e-bikes in their class. And then there's other various models that we've tested. There'll be a link to a blog post down in the description of our favorite lightweight e-bikes. The Roadster V3 comes to mind, the Lectric T1 ST. Now those are more road inspired, so you have narrower tires, smaller batteries, but still they're electric bikes. And yes, just because a bike is folding doesn't mean it's lighter weight, as we will prove here in a second. Now, one great way to haul a bike like this, yes, you could use a bike rack, but actually using a tote is a great option, especially if you have two people. One of you can be on each side and lift it up into your vehicle, allowing you to buy a bike that has a large battery and a large, powerful motor. All right, here we go. I'm gonna guess 66 pounds.
I was gonna say 66 pounds. I'm gonna say 67 pounds. All right.
All right, and bringing the XP4. All right.
Perfectly balanced.
Oh, wow, we are much higher than we expected. Almost 72 pounds, 71 and a half pounds. We'll put the weight of the battery on the screen. And keep in mind, this is also sold in a 500 watt version, which comes with a smaller 10 amp hour battery. That can shave a little bit of weight, though not going to make a significant difference here. And clearly we're getting into heavy e-bike category, but let's see just how much this weighs, and the answer might surprise you. Oh my God.
87 pounds.
The struggle is real. A whopping
86.8 pounds.
Do not buy a fat tire e-bike if you're looking for a lighter weight electric bike. All right, they get even heavier than this. And by far my favorite e-bike in the Lectric lineup, the XPedition 2.0. We ride it more than any other e-bike because we throw kids in the back.
And this does have accessories on it like the Orbiter 2.0, the front rack and cargo basket.
But you're likely to have accessories on this thing anyway.
And cargo or passengers.
On this bike in particular, yes, there are e-bike rated racks that can hold a bike like this, though much like the Fat Tire bike, you might want to buy a rack that has a ramp because you can just roll it up unless you have two people. All right, we'll see how this goes. Oh my goodness, holy.
Can we get it up there?
This bike weighs in with the accessories at 105 pounds. Basically the polar opposite of a lightweight electric bike.
How much heavier are 3 wheels?
Let's find out. Don't try this at home. All right, we're hanging. We got another one wrong. The XPedition is heavier than the XP Trike. XP Trike weighing in at 96 pounds. And I have read in the comment section people talking about buying a Trike. It's going to be nearly impossible for one person to get this on a bike rack. Yes, they do sell a bike rack for Trikes.
It's going to be best for neighborhood rides.
Or a 2-person lift.
Able to hang it with a millimeter to spare.
So what did we learn today? Well, you saw us struggle lifting these bikes up to weigh them. Imagine lifting them onto a vehicle.
So yeah, of course, having a lighter e-bike means it's going to be more nimble and easier to handle on the road. But there are many other factors to consider.
I've seen so many people ride an e-bike for the first time and they just stand over the bike, and particularly on like the Fat Tire models, they can't even keep the bike upright to get started. And I've seen examples in the Facebook groups of people buying an e-bike, not thinking about weight, and then they have to return it because they just simply can't ride it safely. In the electric lineup, I think it's very obvious that the XP Lite is a great option, especially if you still want a decent amount of power. Though keep in mind, even on 36-volt systems, if you're not climbing huge hills, they still offer plenty of power.
Also, that's why we often recommend step-through frames. When you have a heavy e-bike, just making it easier to get on means you're not going to be swinging a leg over. It's going to be easier to plant your feet.
So if you're looking for an electric bike, whether it's electric or not, you probably want to look for a bike around 50 pounds. That's not to say there aren't lighter weight electric bikes, but that 50-ish pound weight strikes a great balance between having a sizable battery and also a sizable motor,
which translates to good power for hill climbs and more range for longer rides.
And say you can handle the weight while the bike is just sitting there, keep in mind that once you're rolling, the extra weight disappears beneath you. It's just getting started can be a challenge for some people. And keep in mind some of the tricks we talked about. Maybe you want a super powerful motor with a giant battery. Well, if you have 2 people, you can team lift it. Use our tote hack for folding models, or prioritize purchasing a high quality bike rack that has a ramp. Also keep in mind that some of these bikes have walk modes. That sometimes can make the bikes easier to move around.
And did seeing these weights change your mind on the style of e-bike you're considering? Let us know down below in the comments.
And if you're planning to purchase electric e-bike, support the channel for free. Just use our link down in the description. Thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you in the next one.